What have you discovered to be the most common obstacles to love and intimacy in marriage?
The first thing I want to say is that by looking at my own sexuality, I realized that is the area in my life where I recognize or I acknowledge that I am created for a partner, that I'm not just living on my own, but here is the clear indication that we are supposed to live as a couple, in complementarity, that we share this gift of our sexuality and bring it to its fulfillment. And so in a sense, sexuality is a gift, and I bring this gift to my spouse. And so the more I can keep this gift intact and pure and good, the more precious that gift. And it's, of course, on the mutual level. Mm-hmm. So therefore, the ideal of sexual abstinence and purity in our sexual life before marriage, we're preparing in that way, then I can give the most precious gift to my spouse. Mm-hmm. And that is many times overlooked because our whole culture is tuned towards instant gratification or using a sexual drive as we seem fit, and then the suffering comes. Then we see we are somewhat violating a universal law of complementarity and seeing sexuality then as the gift for marriage, right? That there's a place for it. And I heard one time a little metaphor in that sense, which means sexuality, of course, expresses in its most intense way our love for each other as a couple. Mm-hmm. But then that love is like a fire, right? It's so strong, it can consume all our feelings, our whole personality, our whole aspirations. It's and we have to be very careful that this fire burns in the right place. Mm-hmm. Because, in every home there's a fireplace for the fire. Yes. If we would kindle fires as at will, we have a problem. Yeah? We become arsonists, right? We burn down the house. And so with our sexual drive, sexual love, it is similar. There has to be a place for sexual love to happen, and that place is a monogamous marriage. That's the ideal. And if that is accomplished, then the good fruits of sexuality can multiply, can be present in our society.
Okay, great. Very well said. Thank you. Elizabeth, would you like to add, what are some of the most common obstacles to intimacy in marriage?
Yes, I guess in today's world, there's so many demands on couples, and many couples feel a lot of stress with finance. So I have a friend, and she said to me, I can't hold my husband's hand right now because I have so much stress financially. So I feel people are working 2 jobs, they have a lot of kids, so they have so many demands, so there's no space for intimacy and love. So that's very sad, and I wish we could find a way to overcome all this.
Yeah, okay, very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. I know that for both of you, spirituality is the foundation for your marriage. Please share with our viewers the difference spirituality can make in increasing love and intimacy between husband and wife. Elizabeth, would you like to begin?
Yes. I believe your love has to be protected. And if you are a spiritual person, if you are religious, God will help you and protect you, especially against temptation, because out there's so much temptation. There's pornography, there's free sex. So how to protect your true love is very important. So if you feel, the way to preserve it is always do things together. Don't go on your own with another man to the movie, for example, but do it as a couple or do it together. So I think to preserve your true love and avoid temptation, it's very important.
God gives us our partner, and He gives us as our gift, as I said before, our sexuality. So that's maybe the first step, to see our sexuality as something totally good and given to us by God. So there's a spirituality about our sexuality.
Okay.
So to acknowledge that original value of our sexuality, that it would lead us into ultimate unity with our partner and ultimate unity with God.
Well, that's a very interesting concept. I think it's a new concept for some of our viewers.
Right.
Can you say more about that?
It has to do with the nature of love, because if we could fathom, at least to some extent, what love really is in its essence, and as a relationship between husband and wife, then we can also understand the place of sexuality and how God would be present in that relationship. So first of all, love is a relationship between partners, right? So we have God as our origin, as our creator, and then we discover that we are created in polarity, man and woman, so that God must have this kind of aspects in his own being. So there's a harmony between masculinity and femininity within God, but that is expressed in that couple relationship. And now if we carry this a step further, then we see in that give and take between God and us, we will fulfill fully, to the highest degree, the image of God, not as individuals, as a man or a woman, but as a couple. And so the fulfillment we have as a couple in loving each other, it becomes God's joy and God's fulfillment. So therefore, spirituality in marriage and spirituality in our sexual life, that there's that aspect maintained, is then confirmed by understanding the nature of love, right? Realizing there's an ultimate resemblance, right, between God and us as human beings. We are created in His image, but beyond the resemblance, and that makes now, this is really the additional point here, there's an element of uniqueness, right? We are, each of us, totally unique, right? There's no human being like another. And that uniqueness is brought into substantial existence through our free response. Love needs that free response. Therefore, every genuine loving experience involves risk-taking. We take the risk to reveal ourselves to our partner, to be intimate with our partner. We do it at the risk of being hurt. And many times, unfortunately, it happens in marriages because we come with all kinds of unsolved conflicts. And as we approach each other on a more intimate level, we find out that the partner is not that ideal Prince Charming or Princess Beautiful as we imagined. And then we feel hurt, and we need to work through that. But it doesn't mean it's unstable because of the risk-taking. It becomes very stable because once we can experience that love in its fulfillment, that's the most powerful emotion which we share, and nothing can interfere in that most powerful emotion in terms of love being consummated in marriage, also in our marital sexual love, and then faithfulness and stability is the foundation for that, and that is what the original goal is for our marriage.